Okay, back for another one. This one we're going to do a T5 transmission swap for 4-speed or 3-speed. Let me show you what we got here. Yeah, we kicked that guy outside so we could work on this junk. So this is a T5 transmission from an S10. The way you can tell the S10 from the Camaro is this shifter is way up here as opposed to way back here. What that amounts to in the car is having a shifter up here like we do in a truck versus back here like you do in a Camaro. And just imagine it at the tail shaft would just be sitting pretty awkward spot anyway. You want the S10 one, or you want the Camaro one and then swap out this tail shaft. If I had a Camaro one, I'd show you how to do that. It's actually the best way to do it. But this is on a budget. So I paid like 150 bucks for the transmission itself at a swap meet. Told it's a good running unit, and took the guy at his word. And then I bought this new input shaft. I think it was 150 bucks, and then also a bearing. And that's all we're gonna need. I know, crazy, right? So I'll get you guys set up on a tripod, and we'll get to work on this. Hang tight. All right, so the first thing we want to do is we want to drain this transmission fluid. So maybe what I'll do is I'll just move this guy up here. Hopefully she doesn't go anywhere. Should be okay, I hope. Okay, so we bought it. Previous owner told me that he had drained it, but you know how that goes. Always best to check. So we've now checked. I'm fine with it. Let's get this guy back here, centered a bit. Another thing kind of unique to the T5 transmission is this fin down here. So if you were to just throw this up on a regular bench, it's going to give you some problems because it's going to want to tilt this way and that way. So if you got one of these, you know, these benches that open up in the center, it's money. Or you can build it up on the sides, right? So anyway, let's knock this guy off. Because before we get too far along, we should really have this guy in neutral. So let's find neutral. Let's knock those guys off. Those are going to be a 13 mil. So I'll just knock those guys off. 4 13 mils here. Get that guy straight out. That's what she looks like there. Put that over here now. Okay. Bring you over and show you what it looks like in there. So this is where our shifter goes in, moves back and forth and this way and that way, and you know, cleans up all the gears. We will pack this whole area full of grease later. It just makes it shift so much nicer. It looks pretty clean in here overall. So let's just set back up here. Now we'll take a look at pulling off this input shaft. That's where the fun really begins. Again, this is 13 mil. We got 4 of them here. I always like to just take a marker and just mark where the top is. And I just write top on there. That way you never miss, right? Okay. We should take a look at mark top popping this guy off. Come on, get off of there. Okay, there we go. Drill is off. So there should be not a whole lot to see there. Looks like it's just siliconed on. All right. We'll put that over here. Now the fun. We got to get this guy off of here without wrecking it. Is that thing straight? I like to just get myself a block of wood. Get this bad boy up here. There. Then what you're going to want to do is, if you look at this shaft here, you can see this cutout. So when that cutout ends up on top of the one below it, that's when it can come out. So we're gonna spin this and kind of find that spot, lift and pull and tweak, and you know, you'll figure it out. Let me give her a shot here. There's a whole bunch of bearings in here. And those bearings just cannot wait to fall out. So if you're not careful, that's what's going to happen to you. I'm told even if you are careful, it can happen, although I've never had it happen. Okay, here we go. Let's see. All right, we kept all the bearings. All right. So let's see what we got here. Got a synchro ring. We got this little guy, I don't know the name of, but it's bearings on both sides. And then we're going to have, I believe it's 15 of those guys in there. So I'm going to knock these guys out and we'll prepare the new one. So on my new guy here, you can see the new guy already has the bearing put on. So I press that on myself. I can't imagine you guys want to watch me just press a bearing. Anyway, I'm going to go pull those bearings out. We'll throw them in there and we'll slap this thing back together. We do have a couple more modifications. As a matter of fact, you know what? Let's do those modifications first. I'm just going to set this here for now. We got to cut this guy down. We're going to cut a bit off the nose here. Otherwise, it's going to be too long to fit through our bell housing. So we got to cut just a bit off. I believe this comes in at 2 5/16 or 3 1/4 overall. Let me double check my math. I'll probably just put it up here somewhere for you anyway. And then we'll take this over to the vise and we'll chop her down, okay? Hang tight. Okay, so there we are at 8 3/4 inches. Got her marked off there with a piece of tape. I know it's probably hard to see and I'm probably moving it around and whatnot, but that's where we are. I'm going to go ahead and lop this thing off and then I'll put a chamfer on the end there and we'll get this ready. Then we'll go ahead and we'll knock this guy off too. This is what our throwout bearing rides on, right? We'll knock this guy off next. This is one that we're going to go, I think it's 3 3/4 inches or something. Well, I'll check it out and I'll get back to you. I'll be right back. Nothing, you're not missing nothing by me cutting. Okay, so last time I did this, I had a little bit of an issue with this binding in the pilot bearing. So what I did is when I went to go start the truck, it actually would like jam up. So I had to remove the transmission and hit this with a little bit of emery cloth and it was fine. So this time, preemptive strike, hit it with some emery cloth, just kind of clean her up a bit. We got the end off of here, a little bit of chamfer on there. She's good to go. And now we'll just toss some bearings in here. Maybe I'll take you along for that one. Why not? And watch me struggle getting the last one in. Okay, so I got them all in there. Sorry, but holding the GoPro and doing this at the same time is not working out. The best way to do this is straight up and down. Get the grease on there because that holds it in place. But if you try and do it on its side, of course, as you get to the top, they just fall. So you got to do it like this. Bring them all in. They go in pretty easy. It's not rocket science. So this guy is now ready to go in. Before I do though, I'm going to do a couple things. First thing I'm going to do So I'm going to clean up all this surface here before I forget. Get that all cleaned up, and we will get this guy cleaned up. We're going to trim that guy down. I believe that one's 3.25. I'll just throw that in the vise and trim it down. And then we'll slap this guy back together. We'll see how that goes. All right, I'll be right back. All right, so there we are with that guy. You can see that we got our 3.25 there and our 2 5/16 there. So we're good to go. This guy's all cleaned up, ready to slap her together. Okay, so grab a little bit of grease here. Help things get sticky, and I'll slap that guy in there. A little grease on that side too. And then we got our synchro. She's going to slap on there as well. And we're good. Let's put a little grease on here for the synchro too. Give it a little help to get going. All right. So if you remember, we got this guy we're dealing with under there. So let's just see. There we go. Just gotta fiddle with it long enough to. Let's take a look if that's gonna sit nice and flush for us. Sure will. So I just wanted to check to make sure we were in all the way, and we are. So now I just want to move on. I'll throw a little bit of silicone on there. Okay, so we got some silicone on that guy. We're just gonna put a little grease in here. I just don't think you can ever have too much lubrication, you know? Nobody's ever going to say the transmission went out because it was too lubricated. Okay, so we got some silicone on there. A little RTV sealant. And get these guys started, and I'll snug them up. And for the guys who are going to say, hey, what's the torque value? I don't know. Tight. Okay. So Hey, here we go. Okay. That feels so much better than the other one did. The one I took out had more play than this. Of course, it's dry right now, but what are you gonna do? Okay, so now what I want to do is I just want to pack. I'm gonna pack some grease up in that guy, right in here. All right, so just slap this guy in his home here. There we go. And we'll get these guys started. Get that guy started. Okay, so what's left to do? Well, this is a mechanical speedo. So depending on what gears you have on the back, you can change this out to make your speedometer work properly. You just take off this nut here, slide this spacer back, this comes out, you change out the colored gears depending on what you got out back, different colors. There's a whole, you can find that on the internet easy enough. This here, this is simply your backup lights. That's all that is. When this goes in reverse, this completes the circuit. So that's your backup lights. This should shift like butter now, and it does. Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, so this is done. All we got to do now is hog these out so that they'll fit in the bell housing. I got a bell housing out back here. Let me show you. So this is it here. Same bell housing for like a 4-speed or a 3-speed. The only difference would be 60, 61, and 62. I think they have the hydraulic clutch, whereas this has the clutch fork off the driver's side. Anyway, these holes here, these guys up here are threaded. We'll just make sure that bolt fits through on there, and then these ones down here are not threaded. This gets a nut and a bolt, so the nut actually goes through from that side and attaches on this side. I believe those are 1/2 inch. The top I don't believe is going to be a problem. Let me just grab the bolt here. I believe it's this guy. Let's check it out. So slides through there, no problem. Let's see if it threads in this side. Yeah, that's our guy right there. So the top one stays, no problem. So it fits through on that side and then goes through here. And then on the bottom, we can actually go to an even bigger bolt, which I would. May as well put the biggest one you can in there. So throw that guy back. Let's look for the bad boys. This guy here will tell the story, I guess. So up here on the transmission, that needs to be hugged out. That doesn't quite fit through there. And then on the bell housing, same deal. It fits and fits nice. Like, that's not going anywhere. So I like that. So that's what I would do. I would go with this guy. Well, not this particular bolt, but that size. So probably a 1/2 inch. And the other one I believe is a 7/16. And your money. So whether you got a 3-speed or the 4-speed, well, a 4-speed, we all know it's actually a 3-speed with low. This will get you a 5-speed, and that's going to help a lot. It does locate this hole for the shifter if you have 4-speed just a little bit back. If you have the 3-speed and you're worried, well, I have a low hump, that's fine. I did this on my that white 66 I had. If you run these numbers here, you can go on the internet and you can find a spot to run those numbers. It'll tell you what your final drive is. A lot of guys say, oh, you got to pick the right one. There's not a lot of these things kicking around, so you pick the one you get what you get. That's what my mom used to say about supper too. That's what we got. So this is done, with the exception of tossing it in. I'm not going to get to that today. I wouldn't mind having a hand with it. I've done them by myself before. The last 2 I did by myself. It ain't fun. It's easier if you got some sucker with you, you know what I mean? But I do have a new clutch, so we'll be putting that on as well. So this is our 10 spline. We took off a 14 spline, I believe, is the original one. This guy's ready to go. I am happy. No back and forth movement, and end play is minimal, better than it was. So I'm going to call it a success. T5 transmission. You want to throw this in your 60 to 66 Chevy? It's ready. It'll go. If you want to put it in the older ones, even, I don't even know how far back it goes, those stove bolts. Same idea though. It'll go in that too. You can do this. My 51, I think somebody had slapped in a 261. I know you can do this on the 235s, the 250s, the 292s, the 235s, all of it. So yeah, don't be afraid to give her a go. It's low cost, it's budget, it's 5-speed. Listen, if you're running 5, 6, 7, 800 horse, don't do this, because you're just going to be cursing my name. If you're running 300 horse and less, that'll be fine. It should be fine. I guess it depends how you play with 300 horse. The only thing is you will have to shorten your drive shaft. What I did is I measured it out. I had a short box truck, And what I did is I took the measurements and I actually went online and I said, hey, who's got a drive shaft for me at a certain length? A few guys came back and said, yeah, I got some drive shafts that length. So I just measured her off center of the U-joint to center of U-joint. And yeah, guys are coming back at me, 50 bucks, 60 bucks, 75 bucks. So that's pretty cool too. Then I had to put in some special U-joints. Whatever. Anyway, I believe this is just your standard TH350, blah, blah, blah. So that's going to wrap this one up. T5 transmission and a 60 to 66 Chevy. T5 transmission in a lot of old Chevys, really. 235s, 250s, 292s, anything with that bell housing on it. You know, trucks, cars from the 50s, 60s, maybe even the 70s. I'm not really sure about that. Do a little research. It's a good upgrade as long as you're not pumping out huge horsepower. You'll be fine. So, T5 transmission, complete. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so. And until next time, we'll get another one up here real quick for you. All right, thanks guys.